What's up, guys? If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Also, please smash that like button on the video and enjoy the show.
If it wasn't for this weird confidentiality, like, you will never hear a Scientologist who's done the OT levels acknowledge that Scientologists believe in Xenu or body thetans.
That's so strange.
They're not allowed. Here's how crazy the confidentiality gets. If you have two Scientologists, they're married. They've both done all the OT levels. They are not allowed in the privacy of their own home to discuss the material of the OT levels with each other. And if they do, and it's almost like whoever rats on the other one first will be given the lesser penalty.
Oh my God.
Like, it's for real. So you're not even allowed to talk about it with Scientologists. You're not allowed to talk about it with family members or friends, even people who already know the information. So when you have someone like Grant, who's so publicly a Scientologist, and he's publicly an OT8, and he's sitting down with a guy like Vlad, who absolutely starts asking him about Xenu, right? Grant shuts the conversation down right there. He goes, okay, yeah. I'm here about my family. I don't care about all that. I don't care about space aliens.
Yeah.
I care about my family. I care about me. I care about getting my money right. And I'm like, yeah, Grant is the master of controlling a conversation. That is one thing he's excellent at.
I would agree with
and
that.
the point, but that's where the nervousness kicks in. He's not allowed to even be on a platform where Xenu is being mentioned. That's very dicey for a guy like Grant with Scientology.
So they could call him in for like a hardcore audit just for being there.
Well, the next time he goes in, he's going to have to answer up for that. Like, this guy is getting clicks on a video with your name and your image and your likeness.
Did you see this? This is you gotta watch this.
Okay.
This is
What is this?
This is him responding. This was like July 2nd recently, and what he was doing is he was responding to an article because they called him Scientologist, and he was saying, "How dare you call me a Scientologist?" This is the video. It's so cringy.
I did a reaction video to this.
Okay, let's see this real quick. Let's get a live reaction.
Okay.
All right.
That's over at Miami New Times, Alex DeLuca, and the owners of your company, Village Voice Media or something like that, Village Media Group. Want to thank you for the coverage on the listing of our house in Golden Beach for $42 million in Bitcoin. Absolutely true. Thank you for that free coverage. Look, I've never heard of any of you people, but I do want to make you famous. I want to make you famous for religious hate, religious bias, and religious prejudice. And hopefully somebody will hold you guys accountable.
Nope.
If I was Jewish, Muslim, Protestant, Catholic, if I was a gay man. But because you're hacks and you're lazy and you don't know what you're talking about, you use my religion to clickbait. And that's because you're lazy and you're a hack, okay? But what it did show was that you have religious hate and prejudice in your heart.
Oh my God.
Hopefully somebody holds you guys accountable. You owe an apology to me and my family for headlining with this. I am a proud Scientologist. I have practiced Scientology for 25 years. It's been unbelievable and wonderful for my family, for me as a husband, a father, a husband, as a friend, as a business owner of over 1,000 employees. You guys should be ashamed of yourself.
Whoa.
So now hold on. Is he listing his Miami property or his Malibu property?
It says Miami.
That one says
It doesn't really say, but it does seem like it's Miami, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he's selling his Miami place and he's selling his Malibu place.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. That's recent. That's July 2nd,
Who
2024.
told all of these motivational guys that they should always film themselves while walking or driving?
I don't know.
They never seen a table that they liked.
It's because he's on the move.
He's hustling. Get that
I'm
grind.
hustling. I never sleep. I don't sit.
Yeah. So it's like he should be thanking these guys for promoting his listing. He's the one who calls himself a Scientologist. How can it be bigoted to call him a Scientologist? Even if they're clickbaiting, they don't say a single negative word about Scientology in this article. Not a single negative word.
I need the next article to be potentially closeted gay man Scientologist Grant Cardone. Just for the video, we'll get back.
He's not gay. He's deeply closeted.
Oh my God. But yeah, I mean, obviously, like, he's got a brain up there, and his brother potentially gets him in, and he joins. He's been in there for 25 years. He's bringing his family into it now, too. It sounds like his kids are in it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Scientology, it's not the same thing at the lower levels as it is at the upper levels. Scientology at the lower levels is like pure self-help. It's actually like It's very much the kind of stuff you'd expect from Grant Cardone or like a Tony Robbins
that's how they hook
or
you.
Gary Vee. It's all self-help. And it's like the most purest kind of self-help, which is you can accomplish anything because you are like natively godlike in your powers. And you just don't know it yet. And Scientology can help you realize that. It's it's weird because it's kind of a double-edged sword where on the one thing you can accomplish anything but on the other thing, everything that ever happens to you is your fault because you can accomplish anything. Like in some weird spiritual way, you're so powerful that anything that happens in your life is attributable to something you've said or done at some point.
It's always struck me that there is a bastardized element of like manifestation that seems to be at the basis of Scientology, and that sounds exactly like what you're describing right there.
So you're what year this thing came out called The Secret?
Yep.
When that thing came out, it was so similar to what Scientology teaches that Scientologists would get in trouble for watching it or having anything to do with it. Yeah.
Oh, that threatened at home.
Exactly. So what did they call that? Positive. Scientology calls it positive postulating, but there's some phrase. Well, you called it manifesting. That's not exactly the phrase I'm looking for, but I think all these things mean the same thing anyway. Where in Scientology, you're eventually supposed to get to a frame of mind. They call it tone 40 in Scientology, where tone 40 has a few different definitions in Scientology, but it's essentially an idea that the concept that what you're trying to accomplish might not be attainable doesn't even enter your mind as a possibility. If you're even thinking that what you're trying to accomplish might in some way not be possible, then you're not at tone 40. So it's almost like getting rid of all negativity, all counter thought, all counter expectations, anything. And
I could see getting hooked with that.
It can be like a bit addicting.
Yeah.
Because it is self-empowering.
Yes.
And that is the message that Scientology is giving you from the beginning. They're not talking about Xenu. They're not talking about past lives. They're not in the beginning anyway.
Right.
You hang out with Scientologists long enough, the past lives are going to come up, aliens are going to come up, prison planet's going to come up, but it's of course they're going to come. It's going to come up. That's not even the confidential stuff. Like even Scientologists that don't know about Xenu still know about the Fifth Invader Force and the prison planet and the Between Lives implant stations run by the alien psychiatrists on the far side of the moon. Like that is non-confidential information in Scientology, but that's not what they're hitting you with.
No.
They'd rather you didn't hear about that right away.
Yeah, but that's how it's the hook point. They suck you in and then you start having success in your life or you're more confident on stuff. And we know how we think. Confidence, money in the bank account, stuff like that, opportunities that are coming up that have been opened, the doors have been opened by this, those are very easily not only addictive things, but they're things that you will start to make excuses for. Meaning like, oh no, I'm starting to see some crazy shit, but it's getting me this, so therefore it outweighs the good outweighs the bad. And then I guess eventually someone gets far enough up into the OTs that some people finally go, holy shit, like, all right, this is crazy. I've had enough success. I'm going to be able to sustain on my own. I need to get the fuck out of here.
Absolutely. And because people aren't allowed to talk about those levels with each other, as you go up those levels, if you start to have doubts, you are really made to believe that there's something wrong with you that's causing you to have those doubts because it's working great for everyone else. Yeah. But you're not allowed to go talk to those people and ask them if that's actually true.
Right.
It's almost
they
like
keep you away.
Yeah, it's almost like every single person is like, oh, I'm the only one having these doubts. I'm the only one who maybe there's something wrong with me. I'll just keep going. I'll just do my next level.
It's like the dark side, the prisoner's dilemma in a way. Like where they can't go talk, a psychological experiment.
I haven't heard of the prisoner's
where
dilemma.
they can't. I hope I'm saying the right one. Am I saying the right one? It's like where they can't, where they have each of the interrogees in a separate room for like a crime, and they're telling them each that they can't talk with each other, and that the other person is telling on them or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
your friends have already ratted you out.
Yes.
Yes.
I think if I got that wrong,
it's almost like the reverse
comments,
prisoner's dilemma.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because you guys essentially have to like all walk up to each other like, hey, just another day around here.
That's kind of exactly what happens.
Oh my God.
And there's this other thing where we're just kind of going all over the place here.
This is great.
When you finish a course or an auditing action, you're not allowed to finish it until you write up a success story on how great it was and how it changed your life and how you would want other people to have that. Now, if you're like, I'm not really feeling it. You're like, oh, you're not? we're going to have to go back and see what's wrong with your last level. And that costs you more money.
Hop on the lobotomy machine, my friend.
The beatings will continue until morale improves. But you get to a point where it literally costs you more money to say that thing didn't give you exactly what you hoped it would. So you're trained to lie to yourself.
That's crazy.
Just to save money. And then you get up and you lie to everyone else to get them to do it as well.
Financial incentive on the other end of it.
There really is.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's the wildest part to me. Like how they, even from the beginning, they're like, oh, pay money to do this course. There's something wrong with you. And then they find a way to keep that. It's a gravy train the whole way up. It gets bigger and bigger with how much money you got to spend.
Yeah. Yep. And, there is actually a financial incentive to bring people into Scientology. It's
How
not,
so?
because you get a 10 to 20% commission. People that you bring into Scientology, they're called your select. Like if I bring you into Scientology, you're my selectee.
My pyramid scheme.
Except it's only one level deep, so it's not a pyramid.
Oh.
So if I get you in,
That's bullshit.
and I get 100 people in, I'm getting commissions on every dollar those people give to Scientology. But if they get people in, I'm not getting an override. They're not in my downline.
I'm going and suing in court on behalf of Scientologists. I don't like this.
There are some people who that is all they do for a living.
They
Is
just collect people.
bring people into Scientology, or they run around and find people who have fallen out with their FSMs, and like if I got you into Scientology, but 5 years later we're not friends anymore, when you don't want me to be your FSM, you can just go pick another FSM. Yeah, and so there are some people who just go around and they collect up Scientologists.
That's a
and
real
just
liberal rule.
They just make the commissions. They just make the commissions.
Whoa.
Yeah. So like Grant Cardone, when he encourages his employees to get into Scientology, or he's making money on that. He's making money on that. Absolutely.
Oh my God, that's just what he needs, more money.
It's one of the reasons I personally do so many videos about Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
I don't care, honestly, on a personal level, I don't care that he's a con man. I care that he's one of the #1 recruiters and financiers of this human trafficking cult.
You call it a human trafficking cult.
It's a human trafficking cult. It absolutely is.
And why do you call it that?
Because they bring in people from other countries with these false promises, and other, I guess, less advantaged countries, whether it's South American or Eastern European or poor Russians, and they bring them here with these false promises. And once they get here, and let's say they join the Sea Organization, they're being paid $50 a week to work 120 hours a week. So maybe they were promised they were going to come here and they were going to be a highly trained auditor and all this stuff. And then they're just put to work in the hotel rooms, just cleaning the hotel rooms. They're on a $1 billion contract. They're making $50 a week. They overstay their religious visa, their religious worker visa that they got to come here. If they even got a religious worker visa, sometimes they'll just come over on a tourist visa. So they end up here illegally. So if they leave and stay in the U.S., they're going to be deported, and many of them don't want that. But by the time they get to the point where they want to leave, they literally can't afford a plane ticket home. And so the church, or I call it the church sometimes, but Scientology ends up having all the leverage. And this doesn't only happen with foreigners. There are some people who, because there aren't enough Scientologists in the country to staff all the organizations, they'll shuttle them around from state to state.
Oh my God.
And they'll end up convincing someone to sell all their belongings and go to Albuquerque. Some 20-year-old kid, 20-year-old, sell all their stuff, go to Albuquerque. You're gonna
Cook some meth.
Yeah, they're opening the new org. You'll make $1,000 a week. They get there, they're making $5 a week.
Oh my God.
By the time they're like, I don't want to do this anymore, they're like, I'm sorry, we can't help you. I can't even pay rent. I'm not allowed to go get a job because you say I have to work here in the org, but I don't make any money here in the org, and I want to go home, but I literally can't even buy a bus ticket.
Yeah.
This story repeats over and over and over. Not just in the U.S., but all over the world.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.